Please mention in the chat box. So in today's session, we will continue discussing about the chapter macro minerals. Now we will discuss phosphorus onwards because last class we discussed calcium. Okay. Today we will discuss phosphorus. So those who have the textbook, please mention the page number in the chat box. In the old textbook, it's page number 195. Those who have the new edition, please mention the page number in the chat box. Page number 200. So phosphorus, again, just like calcium, phosphorus is also a very essential macro mineral. You need phosphorus in a large amount, okay? Then phosphorus, it constitutes around approximately 1% of the body weight in a human body. And largely it is found in the form of phosphate in human body, okay? And majority of them, again, just like calcium, majority of the phosphate or phosphorus is found in your bones and teeth, okay, which shows that phosphorus is very important for the development of your and the strength of your bones and teeth. So coming to the functions of phosphorus, it helps in the bone formation, teeth formation, even as a child in the childhood as well, okay, during infancy as well. It mineralizes your bones and teeth, strengthens it. It also helps in maintaining your energy level. It also helps in energy transaction as well, which means only your macronutrients like carbohydrates, fats, protein, also alcohol can give you energy. And this energy is stored in the cell. Okay. So if energy has to be released, okay, in the at a cellular level, phosphate is required. Phosphorus is required because if you remember or if you have at least come across this term called ATP, adenosine triphosphate, adenosine triphosphate. I am mentioning that in the chat box, okay? Adenosine triphosphate. Again, you can see here phosphate is present. So from adenosine triphosphate, when it is converted into ADP, adenosine diphosphate, from tri, it becomes di. From 3, it becomes 2. So one phosphate ion is breaking. Okay. In the procedure of breaking, the third phosphate ion, energy is released. Okay. This is how energy is produced or it is released at a cellular level. Adenosine triphosphate has to break down into adenosine diphosphate. One phosphate ion has to break down. Okay. Then energy will be released at cellular level. Okay. So for this energy transaction, energy to be released at a cellular level, phosphate is required because without phosphate, how will the cells have ATP? For the production of ATP, you need 3 phosphate ions. Okay. Every cell requires 3 phosphate ions. Okay. Without that, energy will not be produced. Okay. That is another main function. It forms your genetic material, DNA and RNA. Various bases that are found in your blood plasma, in DNA. Okay, they all contain phosphate ions. Okay, so it helps in the formation of your DNA and RNA. It helps in the formation of cell membrane or cell wall. Cell wall is made up of phospholipids. You must have heard about this term, phospholipids. Phospholipids. So again, phosphate ion, and a fat cell. Okay, phosphate ions and fats, when they combine, they form phospholipids. And the cell membrane, your cell walls, are made up of phospholipids. Phospholipids regulate what should enter the cell, what should leave the cell. It helps in the cell membrane permeability. Okay, it forms the cell structure. Without phospholipids, your cell will not have a specific structure. Okay, and cells are the structural and functional unit of your human body, of life. Okay, so to form cell membrane, to form cell wall, phosphate ions are required. For the health of your brain and nervous system, if a child while growing up does not have access to enough amount of phosphate through their food, the child's cognitive development, intellectual development, these things will be affected. Okay, and it also helps in maintaining a normal acid-base balance in your body. Okay, hydrogen phosphate, phosphate ions, dihydrogen phosphates. These are different uh, permutations and combinations of phosphate present in your body, which charges your blood plasma accordingly. If the blood is getting too acidic, it will add, release more phosphate ions and make it basic. If the blood is turning more alkaline, it will release more hydrogen ions and make it acidic. Okay, so it maintains the acid-base balance in your body. Next main function, it helps in delivering oxygen in the body. Oxygen is carried by hemoglobin. Okay, oxygen is carried by hemoglobin, but for the oxygen to reach various cells and get absorbed, phosphate is required. Okay, so these are the main functions of phosphate in human body. Coming to the absorption and metabolism of phosphate, how does the intestinal cells in your intestine, how do they take up phosphate from the food? Okay, there are two main pathways through which it gets into the intestine, or it gets into the bloods. Okay, one is passive. One is between the cells. You can see here, these are two cells and there is a gap between two cells. Interstitial fluid. Okay, interstitial fluid is present in this gap between two cells. As I have mentioned earlier, two cells are never directly in contact with each other. There is always a small minute gap filled with interstitial fluid, okay, between two cells. So through this gap between two cells, without even entering the cell, sometimes phosphate can directly get into the bloodstream. Okay. We call it paracellular absorption. Paracellular means parallel to the cell, not through the cells. Okay, parallel to the cells. That is paracellular absorption. The phosphate ion didn't even have to enter the cell. Through the sidelines, okay, it entered directly into the bloodstream. And the next way is through cells. It has to pass through the cells. Okay, so sodium and phosphate both will use the same channel. The channel through which sodium ions can enter the intestine, the same channel is used by the phosphate also to enter the intestine. Okay, active transport will take place here through the channels. And then from there, from one end of the cell, phosphate will reach the other end and it will directly enter into the bloodstream. Okay. And proteins like calbidin is a protein that binds to the calcium, but that also helps in uh, they help in the transfer of phosphate as well. So these are the two different ways in which phosphate enters the bloodstream. And once it is inside the bloodstream, what will happen? uh, it will directly go into the intestine. From the intestine, it will enter your blood circulation. Okay, from the blood circulation, it will reach kidneys. Kidneys will reabsorb it. Kidneys will not allow too much of phosphate to go out of your body. It will reabsorb it, put it back into the circulation. Okay, and from there, the phosphate will go to your bones, your teeth. It will get mineralized. Bones, your teeth will get mineralized. Okay, it also goes into your parathyroid hormone to stimulate the production of parathyroid hormones that regulate the calcium and phosphate levels in your blood. Okay. RD of phosphate is around 1000 mg per day. When a woman is lactating, that's when she requires more amount, that is 1200 mg, just like calcium. Okay, 1000 mg for regular adults, 1200 during pregnancy, and also during post-menopause. In case of infants that is new after 29 days of birth till the first birthday, okay, that time period is infancy. Okay, so in that time, phosphates requirement is higher as compared to calcium requirement. Okay, slowly when a child is growing up, both the requirements come uh, to an equal level. But during infancy, a child will require more phosphate than calcium. Okay, it is mainly for energy requirements. Okay, sources of phosphate, primary sources. You find phosphate rich food mostly in the animal kingdom, non-vegetarian diets, fish, meat, poultry, milk. Okay, they are the best sources of phosphorus. Plant products as well. Bioavailability is still low, but plants also have enough amount of phosphate. All the nuts, dry fruits, nuts, seeds, sunflower seeds, pumpkin seeds, whole grains, they all have phosphate. Okay. Sesame seeds have the highest amount of phosphate in all the seeds category. Sesame seeds, cashews, almonds, soybean, okay, brown soybean, they are the best sources of protein from the plant kingdom. But the primary sources are meat, fish, eggs, all dairy products. Okay, they are the primary sources. Next is magnesium. Again, magnesium deficiency is not that common because mostly magnesium is found in most of the food that you eat. Okay, only if a child has some inborn errors of metabolism, uh, then the child may have magnesium deficiency, but it's not usually isolated. Okay, the child may have other deficiencies as well along with magnesium. Okay, already around 20 to 25 mg of magnesium is present in human body. 60 to 70% of it is found in your bones. 25 to 30% of it is in muscles, and very less percent, 6 to 8%, is in your soft tissues and intercellular, extracellular fluid, interstitial fluid. Okay, but again, just like calcium and phosphorus, majority of the magnesium is found in your bones and teeth. Okay, and it's a very important part in forming the bones where a child is growing to form the bone structure of the child. and it is very important for maintaining the health of your nervous system, your nerves, your muscle membranes. Okay, for the health of it, again, magnesium is important. And if somebody has magnesium deficiency, you don't take enough magnesium rich food in your diet, you can suffer from neuromuscular dysfunction. Okay. Carpenter tunnel syndrome, these kind of degenerative disorders can happen. And the best sources of magnesium: cashews, chocolates, dark chocolates, spinach. Again, bioavailability is very less. Almonds, white beans, quinoa. Halibut is a fish. Okay, pumpkin seeds. Pumpkin seeds generally are a great source of magnesium. Dark chocolate, pumpkin seeds, cashews. Okay. Usually, it is very rare for somebody to have magnesium deficiency. If you have normal dietary intake, you will never suffer from magnesium deficiency. RDA of magnesium is almost around 400 mg per day for adults, slightly higher in men as compared to females. During pregnancy and lactation, obviously, a woman's magnesium requirement also increases, demand increases. But if you have a healthy, normal diet, you will never actually suffer from magnesium deficiency. Okay. So that's about macronutrients. If you have any macro minerals, if you have any queries, you can mention in the chat box.